is up, you guys? This is 101 Your Mad Bro, aka KK47M. Today is the installing video today. Yay! And so what we'll be installing today is the RPM sensors. So right here we got our part that goes to the spur gear. We're going to be installing that today, as well as the RPM sensor mount and the RPM sensor. Okay, let's go ahead and take this body off and get to installing all of the stuff. So, okay, take this tire off. Now you'll take your 5/64 driver, and we'll be taking this plate off. Zoom into it so you can see. So we're going to be taking this screw and this screw off. Okay, now we're going to take this spring off so we can get the spur gear off of the mount. Now we can take the spur gear off like so, and make sure all this stuff stays the same. And now we'll be focusing more on the slipper clutch. As you can see, the pads are kind of worn. So what you want to do is take sandpaper and sand every one of these to make sure they're good to go. Which I'll do it later. I'm just going to go ahead and install this so we can see how it's installed. So you'll need a different driver for this part. Double check. Nope. Okay, get the big boy out. So for this part, you'll need a you get this part of the bag. Here we go. So you need a 2.5 millimeter driver to get these screws out here, here, and here. So let's take these out. Okay, now we'll go ahead and we will open up the parts to put it to the spur gear. So I'll need my handy dandy knife to open this up. Okay, and I'll go ahead and empty all the things that come with it. What we do with this stuff, we throw it over there. So you get all the screws. This magnet is pretty powerful, actually. So we'll be using the smaller cover to go in there. So what we'll do is you zoom in so you can see what I'm doing here. So with that, we'll be putting this magnet inside of this holder. So you basically take it and put it inside of this holder. It's a little bit of a squeeze. Let's see. A little bit of a squeeze. There we go. Now you might hear a little click once you put it in there, but just to make sure, I'm going to take a little screwdriver. Ooh, wow, it's pushing right to it. But just to push it in there a little bit farther, just to make sure it's in there seated correctly. Okay, so it is. So you'll have it sitting in there correctly like this. And then what you'd do is you'd look at the screws and figure which ones would fit. And you'd match it up to which ones they are now. So which would work are the smaller ones. So you get all three smalls. So you take that one, that one, that one. You won't be using any of the bigger screws because the bigger screws are more for this one right here. So we won't be using any of these, so we'll put those aside. We'll put these old ones aside, and we'll go ahead and screw this back on to here. So let me do that now. And you'll need a 5/64 driver. So after you get it on, what you would do is make sure the pads have not moved. Just in case, if you accidentally put the longer ones by mistake, it'll push those pads forward and then you know those screws are too long. So now what we'll do is go ahead and put this back on to the mount. So let me move this camera again. And what we'll do is put this on there, make sure it's straight, and you just slide it on there like so. And then we'll go ahead and put the spring and the nut back on. Now what you do is you'll collapse the spring completely. After you do that, you'll do 1/4 turn. And you'll have to do it to where it works for your vehicle. All vehicles are different. So I'll test this out, make sure it's working good and without any hiccups. You know, do a quick test if you need to, making sure that there is no differences to your spur gear. Make sure everything's all ship shape on your main drive. So after that, we will now go ahead and install the mount for both the gear cover as well as putting in the sensor. So what we'll do, let's go ahead and open up this, and using my handy dandy knife, go ahead and open this up, as well as opening up the sensor. And we will need the zip tie. So what we do with all this stuff is throw it over there because we won't need it. So let's go ahead and take all this stuff out. And then go ahead and unwind this sensor from the... There we go. Okay, so you'll unwind it. You'll get the sensor like this. And then what you'll do is you'll take this right here. Let me zoom it a little bit so you can see what's going on. So you'll take this and then go ahead and mount this into with the sensor, making sure you get it all nice evenly on there. Push it and you should hear it snap. Both sides will snap, and that's how you know it's seated correctly. So when you hear it snap, that means it's in. So what you'll do is you'll take it, make sure all the wires are in here, all in the same spot. Make sure there's nothing, you know, out of place and out of whack, because otherwise it'll get snagged up. So if you need to, go ahead and push all the wires in and you'll be able to seat it in there correctly. Nothing will be out of there. So if you have it to the side like this, you shouldn't see any wires poking out. So with that, then you take this with your gear cover, and there's a little flap right here. You just go ahead and pop that up, and then when you'll take that and go ahead and seat this inside of it like so. It's got a groove in there just so it slides in perfectly. So once you get it slid into the groove, there's 2 screw holes, and you'll use these small screws right here. Actually, there we go. So use these small screws right here, and with the same driver, the 5/64 driver, and go ahead and screw these in to here. So now, after you get this tight, what you'll do is go ahead and fish this wire through the back of your post, which is, let me get this camera moving, there we go, and it goes right through here. So what you do is go ahead and fish the wire through for now. So the wire will go through here, and then this will go all the way to the box. Go ahead and pull this through, and then go ahead and seat the gear cover on. Okay, now let's go ahead and open up the box right here. Then we'll put the tire back on. So let's go ahead and remove this cover so we can see what we have to plug this into. We're going to have to remove both covers, so first the main cover. So this will come off. Okay, now what we'll do is take the RPM sensor, and there's a little, I'll angle this a little bit better so you can see it. There's a little slot, and then there's a hole that this can go into. So what we'll do is go ahead and pull this into it. It's going to be a little bit of a squeeze to get this in. Okay, I had to make some modifications here. So what I did was actually just come around through here and go underneath this port, and it's right here in the center port right here. Actually, it's right through here. So it's all the way through around, and then you just gotta put some tape over that so it doesn't get fried by the battery. So it's sitting right here. There's an RPM spot right here in this part, and it's labeled RPM. So what you do is you just take this and go ahead and plug it into the RPM sensor port, like so, and then you just gently push it in there, make sure it's seated right, snug, and bam, all good to go. And so what you need to do after that is go ahead and put this on, but make sure you have silicone oil to lube up and waterproof both around the ring and everything else, which I'm going to do later. So basically I'm just going to show you how to put this all back together. So basically it just, bam, this goes on. Well, this goes on first, this part. So this part will go on, then this, because this has to slide on. Then you go ahead and screw that down. And then if you want to, you can go ahead and use a zip tie for the wiring. But I'm not going to because I don't need it since I'm using the actual tie down straps on this side of the truck right here. So that's the installment of the RPM sensor, and hopefully you enjoyed this installment video. Then all you have to do is put the tire back on, but hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel, and look for all my unboxings, videos, and everything, and leave a like as well. So hopefully you have a good rest of the day, and I will catch y'all later.